Shit, man. Even his pauses are good.
It's the stand-up, tear-down, conducting comedy, autopsies. The stand-up, tear-down now.
Hello, all you crazy cats and kittens on there in pod personal land. Welcome back to another episode of Stand-Up Teardown. I'm your host, Sean Fau, and joining me, as always, is my lovely co-host, Mr. Matthew Ballek.
Oh, yes. Thank you. It's great to be here. As always, I feel like it's been a long time, but, it's internet time, so who knows when and where this is being recorded.
Yeah, nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
But we're back in business. We're standing it back up, ready to tear it down. And I'm excited about today's episode because we have 3 comedians we'll be watching specials from, and I actually know 2 of them. So
personally,
not personally, but I know of them. So I'm excited because I've heard of them.
Yeah. I've heard names.
Specials. I've heard these names. I've seen them. I've heard about them. I've Jay Leno'd them, if you will. I've both seen and heard about them.
Nice.
The middle one I've not. So
right. I only recently discovered him. Yeah,
sneaky Sean pick.
I snuck one in there. I get one in once in a while there. Who do we got up first?
Sneaky Sean pick jingle. Work on that.
All right, I'll consult the AI and see what we can come up with.
Yeah, we'll get sewn on that real quick. Okay, this next one up is first one is a former, is it boyfriend or husband of Drew Barrymore? I think just boyfriend.
Husband. I think it was a short-term thing.
Was it really a marriage?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh my gosh. Well, this is what Canadian-born favorite comedian Tom Green. You know him from the Tom Green Show. Freddie Got Fingered. What else? Like random reality celebrity shows.
Yeah. Just being a random celebrity essentially is.
Yeah.
I feel like he just pops up on shit.
He's had his own podcast and studio and stuff for quite some time as well. Like for, I don't know, a good 10, 20 years longer. So,
well, just like us, he started on cable access. So he's, just more successful.
Yeah, I got picked up by MTV, like too sweet. So not like us at all.
No one pays us. We do this just to torment the fucking internet.
This is Tom Green. Did I even say his name? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, they'd figured it out, but this is Drew Barrymore's husband, former husband, ex-husband, whatever.
Your host, Tom Green.
Your host.
What's up, New York City? Are we gonna party tonight or what? Oh my God, great to be here. This is amazing. What a crowd. Great to be here in New York City. I love New York City, man. I started my show in New York City on MTV. Yeah.
I thought he started in Canada, but
we started a show in New York, maybe, but no, I guess.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
right.
maybe the MTV show, but this is a very forced and fake Tom Green that we have here.
I'm just laughing. He's so unsettling, but I wouldn't expect anything less.
Yeah, it's literally like a standard comedian intro opening sort of thing, but it's just wrong coming from him for some reason. Nothing he says is fucking sincere. So it's I feel like it's gonna be a lot of that.
I did about 12 years ago. I was doing a public access TV show in Canada. Got picked up by MTV. They moved me here to New York City.
So I mentioned Canada.
Yeah.
There you go.
Now I have a YouTube channel, so my career's going pretty well.
Link in the description.
I hear you, buddy.
No, it's great. We're here. We're doing a show on Mark Cuban's network, right? Last time I was here in New York, I was working for a billionaire. I was working for Donald Trump on the Celebrity Apprentice.
Oh,
shit.
I
got fired.
Oh, yeah.
Got fired in the 3rd episode. Donald Trump was mad at me. He screamed at me. He screamed at me when he fired me. Didn't scream at the other celebrities. Didn't scream at Brian McKnight, whoever the fuck that is. Right? They put you in a room. They make you make cupcakes for 16 hours. You got Clint Black screaming in your ear all day. I don't want to say anything bad about Clint Black, but that guy's a fucking asshole, man. Donald Trump, he was like, "You're fired." His hair went like that and that. Could see all the wires and buttons underneath.
Buttons.
Yeah, that Canadian buttons, that got me, man. But I definitely feel like his association with Trump could be detrimental in the Hollywood atmosphere. But I guess if you come out bagging on him immediately, you're safe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm loving the energy, and he's just like a lunatic on stage. So I'm digging it.
And no bullshit. He just goes right into it. Like even if I mean, still does the basic intro, but even that is fucking
cupcakes for 60 hours. It's totally. How fucking ridiculous was the show?
Did you ever watch The Apprentice? It was a ridiculous fucking show.
No, I've never seen like a episode from like start to finish. Ever.
Yeah. It was just like stupid reality game show stuff, and like Trump essentially made cameos on his own show. Like he would just kind of pop in every once in a while. That was about it. But
yeah, it just seemed like dumb and drawn out. I'm reminded of like Nathan Fielder did like a parody bit of like doing an 8-week contest to find out who is Canada's tallest person. And they had all these games and events that had nothing to do with who is literally the tallest.
Yeah, you just need a tape measure and we're done.
This could have been solved instantly.
He was mad at me because I went out drinking with Dennis Rodman. On the night I was the project manager.
Oh, no.
That's a no-no. What are you supposed to do? You're in New York City, a 7-foot-tall cross-dressing basketball champion asks you out on a date, you say yes.
I love his like facial
Dennis
expressions.
Rodman, he's probably going to pick you up, take you out for a steak dinner. You head out for a night on the town, have some cranberry vodkas, hit the strip club. At the end of the evening, you head back to the hotel. If you're lucky, he doesn't fuck you in the ass.
Shit, man. Even his pauses are good. Like just that.
Like the way.
Like normally I drag on people for like waiting for the audience clapping, but like I don't know, just his presence and his facial expression just kind of like hold it. I don't know.
There's something he's got the confidence. Like he just he's got it down.
Yeah, it's all confidence and charisma, man.
Mm-hmm. I did not get lucky. He was gentle. That's what I call a backcourt violation, sir. See? No, this is cool, man. We're going to have fun tonight, man. We got 4 great comics here tonight. We're going to have a good time here on the show. I'm excited. I've been touring around the world doing stand-up myself.
Own special?
Yeah, apparently. Maybe I picked the wrong one, or I just assumed an hour meant it was Tom Green, but...
no, let's see. You got the right one. Tom Green's outrageous stand-up at Gotham Comedy Live. I see the Gotham. It's live. I didn't know there's going to be 4 comics involved in this.
Well, we'll see how long it takes them to bring someone up and move on from there.
Is that one of the bits that no other comics appear?
Honestly, dude, I wouldn't put it past him. Fuck. Like, just constantly snowballing until we, like, never actually bring anyone up.
Back from Australia. It was amazing. I held a koala over there. It was really exciting. I went to this koala sanctuary, and it's a very famous koala sanctuary. On the wall, they have all these celebrities holding the koala. They got a picture of the Pope holding the koala, and right beside the picture of the Pope, there's a picture of Chris Brown holding the koala. Kind of thought it was an odd placement choice beside the Pope. And I hold the koala, then I hand it back to the zookeeper. The zookeeper looks at me, he says, "You know, mate, the koala is the #1 carrier of chlamydia." It's like, you could have told me that before I fucked it. I'm taking advantage of the you can swear on TV policy for this show. I think it's a lot of fun. But I do think, look, it's nice to be in New York. Things have changed a lot in the last 12 years since I moved to New York the first time. The technology's taken over our lives. We're all stuck on our Facebook pages now. I think we got to think about this stuff. I think we should all cancel our Facebook pages tonight. What do you say?
Sure.
Already done, Tom?
I think that'd be a good idea. Unfortunately, it's impossible, okay? You can only deactivate your Facebook page. They own our information. They've stolen our privacy. Let's deactivate our Facebook pages tonight, though. And in 20 years, let's all reactivate at the same time, and we'll all look the same, and our friends will look fucking old. It'll be awesome. I don't think married people should be on Facebook. I think if you're married, you should cancel your Facebook. Do you want some ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend of your husband or wife from 25 years ago sending little secret messages in the background? How's married life? Wink, LOL. LMFAO, I'm here if you need me.
Yeah. My first complaint of the evening.
The LMFAO makes no sense, first of all.
Laughing my fucking ass off. I guess. But no, the direction here, the shot selection, like, because he's so face acting centric, like, I think we really need to be in a lot more of these close-up shots. Here. Yeah, like the last punchline he gave was like very facial, but we were, off to the side and in a very wide shot. It just didn't land with the force that it could. It feels like he plays to the front row, and the camera is a great thing to kind of emphasize that.
The front row as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So to me,
I felt myself slipping back a little bit, where I'm kind of nodding off or thinking about something else a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see what else you got.
That's not how the world's supposed to work, man. When I was a kid, everybody had one telephone. We'd keep it in the kitchen by the fridge. That was your connection with the outside world. If somebody wanted to get a hold of your husband, she would call the phone in your kitchen. You'd pick it up, you'd say, hello. She would say, is your husband there? You would say, who the fuck is this? Roger, there's some cunt on the phone. She calls here again, I'm gonna slit her fucking throat. That's how the world's supposed to work. That's how you keep a marriage together. Technology's taken over our lives, man. We're living in a world where you can post your suicide note on Facebook, drink antifreeze, and get 28 likes before the poison kicks in. At least it's nice knowing you're making the right decision. I don't think we even act the same way anymore when we're taking a photograph. Like before, if you would take a photograph, you would know that photo would just end up, in some photo album. They had these things, when I was your age, they had these things called photo albums. They were these special books. Each sheet had plastic. You would put the picture on a piece of paper under this plastic. You would protect it so it wouldn't get scratches on it.
Is that like manic mansplaining?
Yeah, I don't know. He's definitely like milking the mansplaining, the nostalgia explaining. Yeah, I don't know. I started like, I don't love this style of joke, but it's a nice common structure of just like things used to be more difficult or better or weirder.
But again, we've kind of already established that he's like just all energy and charisma. So like, it doesn't really matter what he's talking about. It's really just about him like sticking his face into an audience member. Like, just that. Again, this would be kind of hard to pull off, but like that's a moment where like doing that to camera would be really beneficial for an at-home audience. But then you would lose the in theater audience. So it's like, with a special, it's always hard to decide whether to play for the cameras or play for the audience in the room. But like, yeah, that berating style, you just have to be close on.
Yeah, I suppose you like pulled away from the explaining of what a photo album is for like a little faster, and I think I would have been fine with it. But him going on with it,
linger on a little.
It's not getting any extra mileage out of that bit for me, but.
Repetition is humor. But that is kind of his style, that like making the joke go on way longer than it needs to or should, and like finding that like second lap of funny or third lap of funny.
True. Yeah, I think he was on some reality show where he just like got laughs out of someone by just repeating the word cheese sandwich because he just kept saying it and then like enunciating it so oddly that it was just like, what are you doing? Yeah,
it's just the insanity laugh, like the uncomfortable laugh.
That's a good way to put it. The insanity laugh. Yeah, he has that. Yeah, manic quality to him.
Absolutely.
But when someone would say, "Hey, let's take a picture," you'd act natural. You'd be yourself because no one was ever going to see that photo ever again. But now if someone takes a picture, they're using their cell phone. The cell phone's hooked up to the internet's hooked up to every human soul on this planet. It's going to follow you for the rest of your life. So you got to put on the best face. You got to put on that perfect face. And it doesn't matter how drunk you are, you got to look good. And we all end up making the same face. I call it the Facebook face. Unfortunately, it always ends up looking like halfway between blue steel and taking a shit, you know?
Interesting reference.
A generation of constipated people, that's what they're going to say.
I feel like this is a little bit of an older set here, but even still,
You're thinking just because of the Zoolander reference, or
well, no, the Zoolander reference I think is still old for this special, but more just his timeline of 12 years ago doing the show in New York and whatnot. But I wouldn't expect a Zoolander reference from him. I don't know why it is like the same style of like weird off the wall comedy, but weird.
I know, it worries me, this stuff, man. You know, I had a drone fly over my house in Los Angeles last week. That's how much we're losing our privacy. They're looking into our backyards. It's a scary time. And we're doing this, of course. We have a lot of these security measures to protect our freedom. They say, we want to protect our freedom. America's the most free country in the world. Yeah, well, if it's so free, how come it's the only country where you got to take your shoes off when you go to the airport? Because 10 years ago, some guy lit his foot on fire on an airplane and nothing fucking happened. Now every time you go to the airport, you gotta tiptoe through the airport in your slippery socks just because you want to go to fucking Cleveland, right? And take your laptop out of your bag. Take your laptop out of your bag and tiptoe around in your slippery socks. And go through some cancer-causing x-ray machine that costs $4 million a pop. The thing can see through your clothes. The $4 million x-ray machine in every airport can see through your clothes. You got to show everyone your cock. Is that freedom? Every time you go to Cleveland, you got to show everyone your penis?
I feel like that's like I don't know, like not overdone, but I've certainly heard those kind of like premises before in terms of
any airline
TSA stuff.
Yeah, we've established that that's well-trod territory, and
we're in airline territory solidly.
Any airline territory is borderline hack, so you do have to be careful. But like, I feel like his energy carries it, but it is that again the nothing new here, just his energy is what changes it essentially, or
Agreed, yeah,
makes it any sort of entertaining at all. But I think one of the little monitors in the back said 2016, and so if the 10 years ago, if the shoe bomber was that, that's about the right timeline. So we're looking at like a 10-year-old stand-up here apparently. But yeah, he does look kind of young here, so that's a whole other thing.
I was gonna say he looks good.
Yeah.
I don't know
these x-ray machines
like
What's that?
I said I don't even know what he looks like right now, so
I assume fatter and
see through
grayer,
your
but maybe that's just
clothes,
me.
but they can't see through your shoes. I'm calling bullshit, man. Someone's making some money on x-ray machines, that's what I figure. Then you get on the plane, they say, please turn your cell phone off, it could cause the plane to crash. You go through all that shit to get on board, then they let every passenger on the plane with a potentially lethal device. And they leave it up to the honor system. Hey, we're gonna have a fun time tonight, man. I'm so excited about this show. We got 4 great comics.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut him off there, unfortunately.
I guess it's a good time to stop it. Yeah, it's also clearly now like an older special, so
a little older,
through a little different lens.
And that, the airline stuff was disappointing at the end. Like everything was chugging
I think that's
along.
disappointing, even if it is older. Like even if it's 2016.
Oh yeah,
I'm not into it for airline. And
dude, like airline jokes
TSA
were fucked out in
jokes.
the 80s. Like this is
and TSA stuff. Like we've all heard a lot of that stuff before. But I was digging like the energy before, but I would say now it's like, oh, this is not an actual full special. It's going into a showcase mode, apparently.
Yeah. Totally. Well, who do we got up next?
That's a good question. This is the one that is a unknown on my end. This is Ben Moore and his Live at the Comedy Attic special.
Yeah, stop that. I stumbled across his YouTube show called This Aged Great. It's basically like a sort of a movie breakdown and review podcast or YouTube show, mostly about like older like 80s movies and stuff.
Fun.
It was pretty decent, and he mentioned he had a stand-up special, so I wanted to check it out a little bit. We'll see.
We shall see. No, I'm excited. Let's check it out.
Check it out.
Hey guys, you look like a nice group. I think this will go well.
What was that?
I said, what if it just stayed like that the whole time, just on the floor?
Oh yeah.
No, we're good.
Fucking avant-garde bastards. Yeah.
And thanks for coming to the Comedy Attic. It's a great place. We like to brag about it. The owner mentioned it. Travel and Leisure magazine voted us one of the best comedy clubs in America, and I think that's amazing. And even more exciting, I just heard this. Did you know that Travel and Leisure magazine was just voted worst magazine by Magazine? Did you know that? It's very exciting. Also one of the top attics in the country. That's true too. Voted one of the best attics. I just got up here and I don't try to be controversial. I'm not that kind of comedian. I don't like to step on people's beliefs. But here we go. I'm gonna say this. I don't believe in ghosts. I want to say that. I don't. I know. Some people do. It's not that I don't think they could be real. I just hope they're not real. Because if ghosts are real, they're all doing a horrible job at once. You know, it should be scarier. Things should be scarier. A ghost should be the scariest thing you can think of, you know, but then the proof people give for ghosts is always so subtle, it's just sad. Like a ghost story starts off very dramatic. It starts off great. It's like, 30 years ago today, in this very spot, a man was hacked to death with an axe by an 8-year-old girl. And his tortured soul still haunts these very walls. Well, how do you know that? Well, sometimes we can't find stuff in the kitchen. What do you think he's doing it? Like, that's his revenge? I hope it's not. I don't want to think about, I think of like an old guy with an axe just still in his head, like creeping into a kitchen in the middle of the night. And he's like, hit me with an axe? Hit me with an axe? Well, guess what? I'm gonna take your salt and pepper shakers and move them over here. Yeah. Hope you like bland potatoes, you murderers. Like, that's so passive aggressive.
Definitely a huge stylistic swing from Tom Green here. A lot more on the joke construction and less on the charisma, but he's still got a high energy.
Yeah, he's got good energy. Yeah, he's not like bad stage presence in any way. So, like, I'm on board with the special so far, but maybe a little slow on some of the setups.
Yeah, it's not bad. He seems a little unpolished, like maybe like 5 years into stand-up sort of feel. Not quite there and not quite totally found his voice, but like still pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
But that's the story. It's like, yeah, a school bus fell into a volcano and now my dishwasher door is just open sometimes. I think it's those kids. Like, I hope that's not it. Step up the hauntings. That's what I'm saying. Come on, ghosts. Ghosts, how am I supposed to believe in you if you can't even believe in yourselves? That's what I'm saying to the ghosts. I've been traveling all over doing comedy. I was recently, I was in the South doing comedy, and I think here in the Midwest we feel like we're better than the South, and we're probably right, but I think, I love it down there. I tell my friends in the Midwest, you have not lived your life until you have heard an old woman from Alabama call somebody an asshole. It's beautiful. There are like 17 syllables. If you ever get a chance. It surprised me. I was in Alabama, and this old lady, she was like frail, and she had a bun. She was knitting, She goes, now, I don't like to talk bad about nobody, but I always felt that he was just a little bit of an asshole. I was like, holy shit, was that a poem? That was amazing. You said that word so good, I feel like you showed me your asshole. Like, I want to live here with you forever. I noticed in the South, I was in the South over the holidays.
Bad transition. Just awkward.
Do you want to live with people forever after seeing their asshole? Is that what I'm inferring as well?
Well, yeah, that's already a thing. But I was just more.
That's already a thing.
I was more referring to his sort of awkward silence. Like, I'm trying to think of the next joke. Where the fuck was I going, or something? Like, it didn't.
Yeah.
There's like a smoothness that is lacking in his presentation that I can't fucking, yeah.
Oh, you stuck the landing on that one.
Kind of, yeah. I fumbled around till I fell on something. Let's see if he can.
I noticed that when you're in the South for the holidays, people kept saying Merry Christmas to me. Like a lot. Like strangers would be like, hey man, Merry Christmas. They would yell it from across the street like, hi, Merry Christmas. They were just jumping out of trees like, Merry Christmas. And then they'd scamper away. And I was like, what is going on down here with Christmas? Like, I get it, it's fun, but what's happening, you know? And then at first I was like, oh, this is just Southern hospitality. You know, people are more polite down here. But then I realized everybody was saying it kind of aggressive. And then there'd be a pause like, hey, Merry Christmas. And I think I figured out what they weren't saying in that pause. I'm pretty sure what they weren't saying in that pause was, hey, Merry Christmas, Jew. Like, that's what it felt like. Yeah, you knock out that Hanukkah down here, buddy. Hey, you sit on Santa's lap this year, whether you like it or not, you Yiddish son of a bitch. Like, why are you mad at me? It's such a happy thing to be upset about. Like, hey, deck the halls, motherfucker. Like, and that's a lot of pressure to put on me to be the first ever Christmas Jew, which is a children's book that nobody reads. I can't do that for them because, fun fact about me, I'm not even Jewish. I don't know if you knew that. I'm not. I know, you're not surprised. In the North, I just look a little Jewish. I found out that in the South, I am king of the Jews. And they wanted me to send my people a message. Like, I don't have any people. I've got one brother. I think he knows about Christmas. Like, that's all I can do. But that might have just been in my head. I think we have preconceptions about them, you know? Like, maybe I was just assuming that. Like, when I was in the South, I just realized I was nervous. I was just like...
Sorry. That really annoys me. When we
What's
go
that?
to the handheld camera just in the middle of all of the static shots. So, like, every other camera shot is on tripod or very, steady. And then all of a sudden there's just this, like, fucking shaky cam in your face. And just, it's one of those things where it's, like, a timing of the editing, too. Because, like, if they cut to those cameras that are like weird or shaky or whatever during like a good run of jokes or an engaging portion, then
like a dynamic bit.
Yeah, it blows by you and it doesn't even like faze me. But when he's like in the middle of a pause searching for the next joke and then all of a sudden we go to like a weird camera shot that it just takes me out of the whole fucking thing for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, annoying. Do better.
Be on my best behavior down here. I don't want any trouble. There can be some ignorance. But then I was like, wait a minute. I am a white man. Like, I should be fine, Like, I'm sorry about everything we did, but I'm totally going to cash in on it, like, if I can. Like, why wouldn't I? But I feel like I couldn't even do that down there. Like, they wouldn't accept me. I'd show up to the white guy meetings. I'd be like, what's up, white guys? And they'd be like, no, we're white guys. We're pretty sure that you are a gay Jewish lady. So get out of town. Merry Christmas. Like, that's what it felt like. Thank you? I don't know. But you guys seem
the
nice.
water.
Why do we need to see his feet for the water jug? You know, that's another.
Yeah, this whole angle is like fucked. Like
We
for
got it.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay for the entrance. It's okay for like, you know, an opening shot or something. You got the lights in your face and streaks and whatnot. But like to go to this shot during the fucking stand up, like unless the crowd is just like falling out of their chairs laughing, I don't see the point to the shot at all. Like,
Oh yeah, if it was like a good crowd reaction, that'd be good to go back to. But yeah,
But it's got to be
just
like
leaning on it for like, hey, it's been a couple minutes. Have we done the floor shot?
yeah. It's got to be a huge reaction from the crowd though, because like you can barely see what they're doing. Like they literally have to be falling out of their chairs for you to like see them doing anything here.
Yeah. No, I'm not holding it against the special per se. It's good stand up. Yeah, I think it maybe moves a little slow for my liking, but I still think it has like some good joke structure, setup punches. It's hitting the marks.
The slow thing is kind of weird because like sometimes you can have a slow comedian that is just still riveting, like fucking
They draw you in with the story a bit, but yeah, some of the stuff I'm just not as like drawn into. Some of the premises maybe.
I mean it's like it's good enough to be funny, but it's not top tier, we'll say. But I think I
literally forgot like what topic he was talking about like right now.
That
could just be my bad brain. Is it still the South?
I think we're in the middle of a transition here because you got the water on the shot. So yeah, I think you're okay.
You dressed up, some of you not so much. That's fine. Is anybody on a date tonight? Okay, that was sad. Now, this is my favorite part. When I asked that last question, did anybody just find out you're not on a date tonight? 'Cause now you know you dressed up for nothing. Congratulations. I want to say this as a man, and that's how I think of myself. I feel like that's what I'm going for. I feel like as a man, I think like dates are kind of fun for guys a little bit, but they're mostly for women, right? We would rather not leave the house, and you make us do that. And we're glad to do it for you because we care about you. And we want to have sex. Mostly the second thing. All the second thing. And you want to do stuff first for some reason, which I don't understand. That's weird. I don't want to sound like a jerk here, but I feel like if a woman knows you want to sleep with her, she thinks that automatically enrolls her in the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Like, it's good, it's not that good. Like, it's not the same, it's not equal. You're like, you're pretty, I would like to sleep with you. And she's like, yeah, well, I would like to go to Europe. So, fuck me over there. Like, really? Why do I have to do that? Okay, look. Clearly, we both have dreams. Here's the thing. My dream is gonna take 4 minutes and is free. So can we do mine real quick and save up for yours? You big dreamer. But you should definitely take women out, because women...
That fucking shot steals all the momentum.
It really does, yeah. It looked like he almost tripped on that last one.
Yeah, it's just, like, I realize he's pausing too, and that doesn't help the momentum either, but, like, I feel like that shot just totally takes you out of, like, any sort of, you know, invitingness that he is offering to you. Like, yeah, that it's just so detached and weird and not like anything else, and it just I hate it. I hate it.
No, I'm getting there as well, but
yeah,
no, I'm liking this. Like, but yeah, I don't know how far into the set are we?
We're 9:30.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll give him another minute or so.
You want to go another minute? Okay.
Yeah, let's see what he's got. Like,
So such a kick at it.
I don't want to end on a hating him note.
Get so into it, they get dramatic.
Shot.
They're like, oh, take me away. You'll come home and she's all dressed up and standing by the door like, oh, where are you going to take me next? Yeah, that's why if she knew she wasn't going to be hurt, I think a woman would kind of enjoy a kidnapping. Listen, just as long as where she ended up was nicer than where she started. That's all you'd have to do. She would totally get into it. Eventually, like if you grabbed her at work, she'd be kicking and screaming. But if, when you pulled the bag off her head, she was at Cirque du Soleil, that'd be a turnaround. She'd be like, "Stop it, who are you? Why? No." Oh, this is nice. Look at you planning out a whole thing for me. She'll snuggle up. You can let her wear your ski mask. It's called romance, guys. Get into it.
Right. That's good enough.
That was a good bit. I like it.
Yeah, it works. Again, he's got that it's like a slower style, but again, slow doesn't have to be horrible. Like the name I was struggling to reach for was Stephen Wright. That's a guy that is very methodical, very slow, very understated, very almost mumbly in his presentation, and not the opposite of animated, but goddamn is he funny. So
oh yeah, because some of his jokes take a little bit more time to process as well, so you need the slower works for that.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially if you're telling him to drunks at 3 a.m. But yeah, all right. Well, fuck this guy. Let's move on. What do we got next?
All right, up next is a comedian I've actually never seen, I think, a full special from, but I've been a long time listener of his podcast, Fitzdog Radio. This is also a frequent Howard Stern guest, I think. Greg Fitzsimmons.
He's definitely a frequent Adam Carolla guest. That's where I know him from.
Okay.
Isn't Fitzdog Radio mostly sports?
No, Fitzdog Radio is his podcast, where it's all just your standard
just random
podcast fare, where you have a guest and conversation.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
And he's also has the Childish podcast with Allison Rosen, which I think is also
really?
from Carolla fame.
Yeah. She's former Carolla.
Yeah, former Carolla. So it's a podcast about raising kids, because Allison Rosen has 2 kids that are younger, and Greg had 2 kids that are now leaving the house for college.
That's a weird pairing. Even though they were both
pairing.
Yeah, they were both around the same atmosphere or same show or whatnot, but I would not have ever pictured or guessed that those 2 would be doing a show. I mean, nothing wrong with either of them. They're just I wouldn't assume they'd have anything in common, but I guess kids are a common denominator for
the kids
most
are a good
people.
common denominator, and it is nice because this is like a morning show, or the hosts are so different in terms of one more bubbly, newer to parenting. The other's more crass and just you'll get through it. It's got that Boston vibe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's see.
So it's first special I've heard of him coming out with, or I'm truly promoting. So I'm excited for great food for him.
Thank you, Austin. So I did the ancestor DNA test because I want to know how Irish I really was, and it's fun if you've done it. They send you a little kit. It's got a test tube in it, and you're supposed to spit into the test tube. I jerked off in it because I wanted the exact, precise. I get the results back. It turns out I'm 99% Irish, which is way too Irish. A little bit is charming. 99% feels kind of racist. It feels like, what's with nobody in the history of this family having sex with any other type of person? Especially when you're Irish. Which of the traits we're trying to protect here? Which of our characteristics is so magic we don't want to water it down? Is it the pasty white skin you can see veins through? Orange pubic hair? Freckles that turn to cancer by 30? Rage, alcoholism. Somebody fuck a black guy. Give us a shot.
So strong opening.
You're right.
I actually have seen this special before, apparently, unless he's doing these same jokes on other places. But this is all pretty familiar fare for me. But like I said, it is strong and it works. He's, that Boston sort of forceful personality that just, makes you like his jokes, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. No, he's definitely a pro. I mean, he's I don't know how many years he's been doing stand-up comedy. So yeah, he's
been around forever.
Confident, knows how to. Yeah, he's got a stage presence down. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I'm not like laughing out loud so much because I think I have even heard some of these jokes. So like the surprise factor isn't as much there for me.
Yeah,
so maybe these are a compilation.
We got the Irish here tonight. Any Irish? Yeah, we got a few. What's your last name, sir? Kojer, which is not Irish. That's Polish, I think. Is it Polish? It is, right? I nailed it. Unlike you, who didn't nail it when I said, "Is anyone here Irish?" and you said me, and yet you're Polish, thus reinforcing a stereotype about the Polish. Now, did you do the ancestor DNA test? You did. And any surprises? No surprises. English and Irish. And fucking Polish. Remember? Remember from 12 seconds ago? Yeah. Okay. Sounds more like you did the 22andMe test. And now I don't do any of it. Now I don't do any of it anymore. I'm sober, married, monogamous.
Was that a weird cut? Like, I feel like that didn't flow. Like, he was talking about 23andMe, and now
I was
did he
still
mention doing drugs?
Me.
Well, yeah, but like now all of a sudden he's talking about he didn't do any drugs or anything. Like, I don't.
That's a good point. Yeah, I guess he snuck a sneak attack on the.
I feel like that was just a like they cut out a chunk. Like, he kept doing crowd work or something. Like, and I feel like we're just missing a section here, or maybe I'm just dumb. That's
took anger management.
I might be a little Polish.
Classes, court ordered, and now everybody's always like, "Wow, you're such a good guy. You seem like such a good guy." And it's like, am I? Am I a good guy? Because the truth is, I want to slam that beer. I want to have sex with you. I want to punch you in the face. That doesn't seem like a good guy. You sound like an asshole. I'm kidding, sir. I don't want to punch you in the face. Hey now. I like this couple. You guys are good looking. I like when they put the good looking people right up front, especially when they're happy. You're happy, good looking people. What's worse than good looking people that are sulking around? It's like, get inside. Go inside. You don't come outside with that shit. If you can't be happy, what hope is there for us? Then you see an ugly guy smiling. You're like, what the fuck are you so happy about? You should be angry. You should be pissed off. Looking like that. And so this is me now, and this is the only type of person my kids have ever known because it's been a long time since I drank. And so it's tough because when you have teenagers, you know that they get to a certain age and they start to think that they're cool and that you're not, which is a phenomenon because you raised them. You've known them their whole lives, and you know they're not cool at all. And you know that you are, and yet you got to listen to them like, "Oh, Dad, you're so out of it. Dad, you don't get it. Dad, you don't know how to download." It's like, hey, you don't know me, motherfucker. You don't know who I was. I used to be very cool. You know when I stopped being cool? When you two assholes were born. Before that, very cool. Way cooler than you will ever be. You know why you won't be as cool as I was? Because you're not being raised by an abusive, alcoholic parent. That's why. And that can change.
That's decent. Well-trod territory, but well done version of it. Mm-hmm. It just reminds me of like one of the best versions I've heard of that sort of setup is I can't remember what show it was on, but Trey Parker was doing some like late night interview show, Letterman or one of those things, and he was telling a story about how his kid came home one day and like Trey did something stupid, and his son called him derp, and he just like went off on basically like, do you even know where that word comes from? Do you have any idea? And it's like, I made that fucking word. That is right. Like, you know, it just kind of brings home that, you know, these people are human. Like their kids hate them too. Like there's, you know, it's just, yeah, no matter how famous you get, your kids are still going to think you're a dumbass. But I mean, like I said, it's a common premise, but yeah,
it's not a groundbreaking premise, but I think he almost needs it because this seems like a reintroduction special for Greg Fitzsimmons. So I feel like it's also introducing him a little bit to the audience, where it's just like letting people know that he has like overcome things in his life. He's a dad. He's like,
I feel like you have to do that
for however many years, 20 plus, 30 plus years.
I feel like you have to kind of do that with any special though. Like unless you're a fucking household name that like, you know, even still
you have
like
to do it. So like that is like why I think he's for sure adding it in, but
yeah, it works.
You're not cool. What are you, 14? When I was 14, I was high at dinner. Every night. Look at you. You're not even high. I was baked out of my mind, laughing. Look at you all clear-eyed and normal. I used to get in a fist fight every day after school. You wear a helmet to ride a bicycle. Pussy. When I was a kid, only the really good athletes got trophies. Now they're handing them out to the white kids, too. You don't know. You want to tell them all the crazy shit you've done, but you can't. You got to protect your image. You want to sit them down and go, guess what your dad did in college? He had a 3-way. That's right, with 2 other guys. Or whatever. This chick was supposed to show up. She was running late. We figured let's just get it started. Give her some time. Anyway, she never showed up. Or she might have. Somebody was ringing the buzzer, but we were so far into it at that point. Nobody was getting out of that bed. It was Dick City and I was the mayor. And I'll tell you something. Good guys. Good guys. I think the thing that really bothers me the most is they think that my wife is cool and I'm not. It's like, really? Mommy's cool? She is. Guess who's fucking her? She doesn't look so cool with my dick in her mouth, I'll tell you that much. Mommy looks silly sometimes.
Jesus Christ. That is, yeah.
Oh, too much for me.
Some good face acting there, though. Some decent imagery. Just the vacant mouth agape mother. Right. Jesus Christ.
Sex with my wife is pretty wild, by the way, because she's 57. I can't believe I'm having sex with a 57-year-old woman. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm 57, too. But I'm still fucking a 57-year-old woman. If you told me when I was 18 years old that I'd be banging a 57-year-old, I would put a gun in my mouth at that moment. And yet I love her. I think she's beautiful and sexy, and we have great sex, but it's existential. It's weird. I love my wife. I remember years ago driving home one day, and I texted her. I said, what time are you going to be home? And she said, 6 o'clock. And then she said, will you pick up some eggs? And I wrote, sure. And then I wrote, what are you wearing? And I got a text back, my cleats and my soccer uniform. And I realized my wife is driving, son is in the passenger seat with the phone. And then I got a text back, why? What are you wearing? And I threw my phone out the window. I burned it. I'm pretty close to my son. My son and I bond My son and I watched a lot of football together. That's how we got close. That's how a lot of men process emotions. We watch sports because the sports are up on the screen safely. That's where the emotions are. You're sitting on the couch. And you can almost like live vicariously through what's happening on that screen. Almost becomes like a metaphor for what's happening with you. Like I remember watching a football game this year, and we're on the couch. I'm like, wow, seems like Russell Wilson's having a hard time lately, huh? And he's like, yeah, I think Russell Wilson is having a hard time lately. I said, well, what do you think is going on with him? He goes, well, honestly, I just feel like the coach is pushing him too hard. He's just on his back all the time, and he just won't let... Well, that's probably because the coach sees how much potential Russell has. And he feels like it's his job to help him reach that full potential. Well, he should back off. It's too much. Well, you know, Russell's a free agent next year, and then I guess he can figure out where he's going to get his own money from. Dad, yes, son? I think Russell Wilson might be gay. All right, let's watch some hockey. Here we go.
He's watching TV.
Here's a sport I can't watch.
Interesting, like following the three-way dick orgy fucking bit with the sun coming out and him being awkward about it. Yeah. Just
Football makes me want to die. Nothing happens, and it happens slowly. And the players don't care. They finally put a clock on it, but they need more clocks on it. It's the only sport where the players don't charge onto the fields. They just take their time. Everything is taking their time. They just kind of meander out. Shoelaces untied. They got a big gulp, smoking a cigarette. And you're like, all right, I guess we're going to start. And they're like, nah, we're going to play catch for about 5 minutes while you guys wait. We're going to throw some grounders, play a little catch. Matter of fact, we're going to do it every time we switch sides. Catch starts again. So you watch that, and then you're like, all right, I guess now we're finally going to start. No. Now we're going to watch a guy in a magic white circle practice swinging a bat. He's been swinging it since he was this big, but he's like, how's this go again? I'm like, huh? That? True? And then finally he steps up to the plate, and you're like, all right, now we're going to go. And after 10 seconds, he's like, time out. I just need a couple more. This... And then he finally digs in, and now we're going to go. No, we're not. Now the pitcher and the catcher, they got a little game they like to play. Where the pitcher looks at the catcher and he goes, guess which pitch I'm going to throw? No, that's not it. Guess again. No, warmer. No, now fuck all these people. Who gives a shit? Keep guessing. Finally, he gets it right. The guy throws the pitch. Batter doesn't swing. Whole thing starts all over again. Bullshit. Get rid of the catcher, get a bucket of balls, and just start whipping balls at the guy. Not next to him. What is that shit? Throw it at him. If you can hit him, he's out. That's the rule. Now he's going to swing at every pitch just to defend himself. And no more resting on each base. Oh, I'm safe on the bag. No, what are you, 7? Keep running. You keep running until you're tackled by a guy from the other team who's carrying the ball. And a bat. Every player should keep a bat in their hand throughout the game. I want to see 18 guys jacked up on steroids, frothing at the mouth, swinging bats at each other. That I would watch every night.
Sounds like a damn good sport.
Right? That's a solid bit. I like that one.
I don't like sports, but I would definitely watch that. Fuck.
Just people with baseball bats.
Absolutely. Yeah, I guess that's just Clockwork Orange. I guess I can just put on Clockwork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was Greg Fitzsimmons. I thought it was a pretty good showing by him. I'm excited to see like a full special of his out. I know he's done a little bit of the podcast rounds and getting some promotion for it. So excited to see that.
Yeah, right on.
I'm a fan of his and of his podcast. So, but
I
yeah, I don't think it's like a
that,
groundbreaking special. Oh yeah, you wouldn't have guessed that I'm a Greg Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, no,
Nut? No, not a nut. But I think he's just been. I think he's had a podcast for a while, so it's like one of those ones that's just always been on your list that you just gotta go back to.
Yeah, he's been around forever. He's just kind of one of those guys. But Yeah. So, who was your favorite tonight?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to go overall with Greg Fitzsimmons was my favorite.
Got
Just 'cause
that
I did like Tom Green at the start with the energy, but then it kind of like trailed off
into the airline jokes.
into the airline joke.
Lost
Yeah,
you.
some of the premises. Yeah, in the middle comedian, which I'll have to pull up. Terrible Days. Ben Moore. I enjoyed it like from a structure standpoint, but it just didn't like connect with me, with me on the premises as much. Like I even felt like you could hear mostly female laughter at most of his jokes.
Right on. You're
to, like,
prejudiced
replay
against
that.
female jokes?
No, I just feel like maybe he like appeals more to a female audience member because I don't feel like maybe it was just the audience in general. But I didn't
He definitely
feel like
has
I heard
a
a lot of
soft
male laughs.
Yeah, yeah. He has like a softer presentation than the other two, that's for sure. So I mean, if we're calling that female, then maybe. But yeah,
Listen
even
back at some of those laughs that he gets. You'll hear it mostly. It
Oh, I
sounds
don't
like
doubt
women
you.
laugh.
yeah, he's but I think the overall production of that one was hurting him as well. It just
Too many
felt
resets, with the floor.
yeah, and it just
Leg
felt like a
shot.
lot more low budget. Yeah, exactly. It's just weird. But I think I'm gonna have to vote for Tom Green today. I like Fitzsimmons, but outside of the last couple of minutes of the airline jokes, I was way more consistently laughing at the Tom Green stuff. Like,
Yeah, I was laughing a lot harder at the start of that as well.
Yeah.
Like overall, I think I'm just more like, oh, good for you, Greg, on this special. But I wasn't like,
oh no,
wasn't
nothing
catching me
against
off
Greg.
guard.
Yeah, he was doing great too. But I think like Tom Green just has that like that wacky presence that like him just being there makes you laugh. Like there's just like I said earlier, he can't say anything. You can't take anything he says seriously. Like even if he's being sincere, it's fucking funny. So like, yeah,
I still can't be sure that there's ever going to be other comedians introduced. I'm gonna have to go back and double check that.
That's true. He started to introduce someone, but there may not have actually
We're just
been anyone
assuming.
there.
We'll have to double check that just to see what happens. But yeah, no, he does provide that manic sort of like wild card energy on stage, and so he was definitely making me laugh just because of his over the top like facial reactions or like I don't know, just the way he would say certain lines. So I could see where you're coming from because laugh-o-meter, if we had an official such thing, I feel like he got the most laughs out of the two of us combined.
And honestly, I probably wouldn't have said that coming in. Like, I'm not a huge Tom Green fan. Like, he's
not a total greenhead.
Yeah, he's like an acquired taste sort of thing. But yeah, just the the energy he brought with this one was it was lovely. I enjoyed it immensely. Yeah.
Was it like an old Jewish man voice?
I don't think I'm allowed to do a Jewish man.
No, I don't think you are.
No.
So that's why I was calling it out.
Too Irish for that. Yeah. Much like Fitzsimmons, I'm like 90% Irish too. So that definitely struck a chord.
Yeah, I feel like I have heard him talk about 23andMe. I feel like 23andMe bits have also been kind of overplayed a little bit, but
oh sure.
So yeah, I feel like that's why I like some of those bits which weren't making me laugh because I'm like, yeah, I've already heard a lot of this in podcast form.
Totally. There's not a whole lot of new racism out there.
Hey, that's a plus.
Speak for yourself.
To leave on, right?
Some of us got time to fill. Yeah.
Hey, well, for those that do have time to fill, certainly like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Like this video, leave a comment on who we should watch next. Any comedians that should be on our radar to check out on the show.
Absolutely. We'll keep standing it up and you keep tearing it down. No, that doesn't work.
I don't know. I say go with it.
Okay. God damn it. Fucking tear it down, bitches. Tear it all. Tear
this
it
whole episode down.
All down.
Sit down, it's time to read between the punchlines. They set 'em up, we knock 'em down. when you can heckle from the comfort of your own home. It's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The Stand-Up Teardown now. Who'll be killed? Bit by bit, beat by beat, set a punch, repeat. They set 'em up, we knock 'em down. 2-drink minimum. It's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The Stand-Up Teardown. Yeah, it's the Stand-Up Teardown, punching up, down, left, right, line by line. It's the Stand-Up